Rickman Larson, big goal last night, moved up to the top power play unit. What did you like about his game last night?
Well, there's a certain freedom to it. Like you see the veteran rise to the occasion, excitement, and that's not just in the game. You see it in practice. Moving around him at the rink, this is big for him, right? In the league a long time, very, very excited. So, and then there are players that just can kind of embrace it, and you start to see their best. He's skating as well as he skated all year. He's jumping into holes. He's playing with no fear. It's great leadership.
And then looking at how these last two games have started, obviously with the shorthanded goals, do you notice an extra weight to the goals? Obviously with the Oilers, the team facing elimination, do you think that momentum is maybe worth a bit more for them when they go up 1-0 in these games?
Shorty's always hurt you, and starting that, that's clearly not what we'd like to do. You get the excitement of a rare power play, and you get out there and you end up digging it out of your net. That hurts you a little bit for sure.
Front right.
Paul, Evan Rodriguez really big on both the first two goals to help you guys try to start swing things. And he's been big for you guys throughout the final. And overall, just thoughts on him last game and seeing him stepping up in some big moments to try to help get things back in your favor.
You could probably go back 6-7 weeks into the regular season where he, maybe even longer than that, but then the last month and a half for sure. His game, he just became more and more impactful in everything that he did, and he's continued, and we've moved him around, and it now is as much wherever he goes, he seems to get the people going that he's playing with, and he's become that kind of player for us. It's just a little switch based on a whole bunch of things, but some of them are just potential matchup changes that I was going to do during the game, and then Matthew lights up, and off they went.
Right side, George.
I just wanted to follow up on OEL. Kind of a nice year for him, eh? I mean, a year ago he gets part of the biggest buyout in history, and now here he is.
It's been great for him, and the personality fit in our room has just been, I think he's enjoyed it. He's got countrymen here. He's got a lot of guys kind of in his age group here, and he's flourished. It wasn't, I mean, I talked to somebody in Vancouver who's really smart hockey person, said, just the question is, he got a year left? And he said, no, he's got 3 or 4. This is just, he was in a very, very difficult spot. The injuries, the timing of the injuries, money issues. This guy's a player, and he has been exactly that for us.
And I was hoping you could describe the emotions of a pressure-filled game like last night. We see Bill Zito with the water bottle. Maybe you kicked a garbage can, I don't know.
Bill was with the water bottle.
Bill, he was. Anyway, good for him.
The Water Bottle Association people upset.
There, I got an email about it today. Weta.
We're going to cancel Bill.
Weta. No, but just, I mean, when you guys, I mean, there's so much pressure to be that close and not get it. And
emotions are different. Like I run a different gamut. You're watching Game 4, and it's a completely different thing. Like I'm watching Game 5, and I'm good with so much of it. Like I feel right about it on the bench. The bench is right, and you had a bunch of things kind of go against you, but they weren't thematic to the game. I mean, I think we gave up 18 rushes in the game prior. So when I say gave up, that doesn't mean 18 rush chances. There were 18 things that we had to control. There was a third of that, only 3 of them were 5-on-5. So I was right with what we saw in that game, and that lets you sleep a little better, right, and gives you a really good starting point for today.
But in that moment, though, I mean, the empty net goal goes in after you guys were pushing.
Yeah, it's real, man. It's there. You got an adrenaline dump, and before the game starts, and you're heavily caffeinated, and it's all what pro sports is. It's the juice of the job. It's easily the best part of it. You can't manufacture it any other way. I don't know. You don't get to the playoffs are way different than the regular season. Regular season isn't just a game. It's one. If you got a good team, you're not playing a game. You're playing a season. You're working off the 3 games prior, and you're thinking about the 3 games ahead, and you're present and in the moment, but there's this bigger picture that you're always kind of playing with, and in the playoffs, it's just all that. Playoffs is you get this instant kind of, that's awesome, right? Like even it's you're growling at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're still, well, that's good. You're alive. It's a good thing.
Left side, first row.
Along those lines, though, how would you put into words what the level of pressure feels like right now? You're still leading the series, like I said last night, but 3-2's got to look a whole lot different than 3-0 did, obviously.
Yeah, you're going to think I'm lying to you. I'm more comfortable. I understand the feeling of 3-2 because most series are like that. That's more, 3-0 is more of an aberration in it. Pressure. I think if you spend enough time, I think we think about these things possibly differently, right? And I'm not sure that I would agree with the assessment that the pressure has shifted so heavily to us. But I'm not going to try to work you to get it out in the media so I can possibly shift it over here, right? We've had something possibly to protect at 3-0, right? Protect the opportunity. We've earned this, now we got to protect it. And they would have had nothing to protect in Game 4, nothing. So there's a little bit of a leveling out of what you feel like you have to protect.
Has anything in the last 2 games had to do with the situation, do you think? Or is it just isolated from, being 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup, which is never, you guys have never been?
The first 2 periods of Game 2, I think we had given up 7 shots. We were really good there. This isn't about offense, because the only thing that consistent in pro sports is the losing coach says we had our chances. That's not what this is. But our 5-on-5 game was as good last night as it's been all series. That'll get you out of bed, get you ready for Game 6.
Right side, second row.
The Oilers have seemingly hit their stride here. Does the winning recipe for you guys in Game 6 change now? Do you have to maybe try to outscore them? Games 1 through 3 seemed a bit more tight checking for you guys.
The last game was very tight checking for us. It was our tightest checking game. Of what we got to what we gave up, that ratio, we were as tight as we've been in a long time. I understand the idea. I would fight that urge to try to outscore that team. And we wouldn't wobble that fast in a playoff series from what we've done for 2 years. Right? We play a game a certain way. Game 4 wasn't very good. That'll give you. The other 4 games, I'm right with a lot of it. We have to stay out of the penalty box. That's just it, because if their power play is going now, it bounced one in. I think it got going on the 5-on-3, which I thought we did an incredible job killing most of it, but you would expect them to score 5-on-3 because they had more practice at it than anybody else in the playoffs. They're good at it.
We'll take 3 more questions. Left side, second row.
Paul, you kind of touched on it there, but just from rewatching the game, just what on special teams did you identify that you didn't like and need to work on?
Well, power play is its own animal. We had 2 kind of line changes that we didn't make that we could have made possibly. I liked our kill. They got it right at the end off. The kills were almost over. I was happy with that. The power play, clearly. We small steps. We'll start with not giving up shorthanded breakaways, and then we'll move on from there.
Hi, Paul. Before the series started, you said that it was impossible to stop players like McDavid, like Draisaitl. To what extent is it just him working his magic in the past few games and being able to produce, or is it maybe some adjustments, a balance between this and that for your team to make sure that you don't give him that space?
I don't know that his expected goals have increased in the last 2. They've just gone for him. But you would expect that to happen. I mean, if he gets X number of chances, there's going to be a point, whatever, 6 or 7% that's going in. We'd have a higher percentage than most players, but very possibly any player. We'll have to limit that X, but we also understand that some are going in. And it's still 3-2. The best clip isn't, he was outstanding, but the clip that I still don't understand, I haven't seen more than once, is the back check on McDavid when he reaches between his legs and uses his stick and knocks it off on that rush. I think the only time I saw that was on the video. How could you not show that 5,000 times? I did. That's training camp video. Because so when we're doing our laps, I told him, when we're doing our laps next year and we're bagging him at the end of practice, and he's at the end, nope. We've seen him catch that guy. We know how fast he is now. Here's what happens. You get really good players, Connor McDavid and points, and they get a block of time where they don't score. And there's something wrong. There isn't. Nobody, even Connor McDavid, scores at the rate in the last 3 games over 82 or over every playoff game, or he'd have 700 points a year, right? That's the way this works. Just a 40-goal scorer. Let's say in 10 of those games he scores 2, so he's got 30 games that he scores in. What does he do with the other 50? He's still a pretty good player, right? And that's how I feel about Matthew. There's a stretch there he wasn't scoring, and then that shot was really, really good. It was pretty good though that he's got hands like, you ever wonder what it'd be like to have hands like that, like for a day, for a practice. I'm standing beside Darren Langdon in practice one day, and only a handful of you remember that guy. And Sammy Kapanen went by us like at Mach 2. And Darren says, God, what I would give to skate that fast once. And we were laughing, yeah, me too. And then Darren goes, and Sammy comes up, and I said, Darren Langdon says he would give anything to skate. And he turns to me, he goes, just one game I'd like to fight like Darren Langdon. I'd kill everybody. So we all have different gifts.